Commander Vexana stood on the observation deck of the Galactic Council warship, her crystalline eyes fixed on the newest recruit to the Coalition forces. The human shuffled forward in what appeared to be ancient metal plating, dented and scarred from countless battles. His helmet bore scratches that told stories of survival, and his breastplate looked as though it had been forged in some backwater foundry centuries ago. "This is what Earth sends us?" Vexana muttered to her second-in-command, a tall Viridian named Cross. "We face the Dominion fleet with advanced plasma weaponry and quantum shields, and they send us someone wearing scrap metal." Cross clicked his mandibles in what passed for agreement among his species. "The humans have proven resourceful in ground combat, Commander. Perhaps we should reserve judgment." Vexana's laugh echoed through the chamber. "Resourceful? Look at him." That armor would not stop a training bolt from a cadet's rifle. The other species bring their best technology, their finest warriors. Earth sends us this relic. The human's name was Marcus Cole, and he heard every word. His face remained impassive behind the T-shaped visor of his helmet. He had heard such things before, on a dozen different worlds, from 100 different species who thought they understood warfare because they possessed energy weapons and force fields. The briefing began with the usual tactical displays. The Dominion fleet had established a blockade around the mining colony on Tarsus Prime. The colonists, a mix of various species, would run out of supplies within 3 cycles. The Coalition needed to break through the blockade and evacuate the civilians before the Dominion reinforcements arrived. "We will deploy in standard formation," Vexana announced. "Heavy cruisers will engage their capital ships, while our fighters provide cover for the transport vessels. Boarding teams will infiltrate their command carrier and disable their communication array." She paused, looking directly at Marcus. "The human will remain on the ship. We cannot risk having someone in outdated equipment compromise the mission." Marcus finally spoke, his voice calm and measured. "With respect, Commander, I did not come here to watch from the sidelines. My orders are to participate in this operation." "Your orders?" Vexana's tone dripped with condescension. "Child, I have commanded fleets for 3 of your human lifetimes. That armor you wear would not protect you from the vacuum of space, let alone Dominion pulse rifles. Then perhaps you should see what this armor can actually do." Marcus replied. The tension in the room grew thick. Other officers stopped their conversations to watch the exchange. Vexana stepped closer to Marcus, her superior height making her tower over him. "Very well," she said. "Show us what your primitive equipment can accomplish." Target range now. The target range aboard the warship featured advanced holographic enemies and real-time combat scenarios used to train the Coalition's elite forces. Marcus entered the chamber while dozens of officers gathered in the observation area above. Vexana programmed the most difficult sequence, one designed for soldiers wearing powered exosuits with neural interfaces. "Begin," she commanded. The simulation started with 6 Dominion soldiers materializing around Marcus. They opened fire immediately with holographic weapons that would register as hits if they connected. Marcus moved. What happened next made several observers gasp. The human did not simply dodge or take cover. He flowed through the incoming fire like water, his body moving in ways that seemed to defy the bulk of his armor. He closed the distance to the first target in seconds, his armored fist connecting with enough force to send the hologram flickering out of existence. The second target fell to a spinning kick that should have been impossible in such heavy plating. The third and fourth tried to flank him, but Marcus seemed to sense their positions without looking, dispatching both with precise strikes that would have been lethal in real combat. The final 2 targets activated energy shields, a defense that required sustained fire to penetrate. Marcus did not slow down. He grabbed one target and used it as a battering ram against the other, eliminating both simultaneously. The entire sequence took 18 seconds, The observation deck fell silent. Cross was the first to speak. "Commander, that armor should weigh at least 200 standard units. How did he move like that?" Vexana said nothing. Her eyes narrowed in thought. Marcus stood in the center of the range, breathing steadily, waiting for whatever came next. "Increase difficulty to maximum," Vexana ordered. "Let us see how long he lasts." The simulation reset with 12 enemies this time, equipped with heavy weapons and tactical coordination protocols. The scenario added environmental hazards, collapsing structures, explosive barrels, and limited cover. Marcus adapted instantly. He used the environment to his advantage, turning hazards into weapons. When a support beam collapsed, he kicked it toward 3 enemies, scattering them. When plasma fire ignited a fuel container, he was already in motion, using the explosion's cover to advance on the enemy position. His combat style was unlike anything the Coalition officers had seen. It combined brutal efficiency with an almost artistic flow, each movement serving multiple purposes. A dodge became a strike. A block transitioned into a throw. Nothing was wasted. The simulation ended with all 12 targets eliminated in 43 seconds. Marcus had not taken a single registered hit. Vexana descended to the range floor, her expression unreadable. That was impressive, human. But the question remains, how? That armor should restrict your movement, slow your reaction time. What technology does Earth hide within that primitive shell? Marcus reached up and unsealed his helmet. The latches clicked open with a sound that echoed through the suddenly quiet chamber. He lifted the helmet off and set it on a nearby bench. "No technology, Commander," he said. "Just training." He began removing the rest of his armor, piece by piece. The breastplate came off first, then the arm guards, the leg plates, and finally the heavy boots. Each piece clanged as it hit the floor, and with each piece removed, understanding dawned on the faces of those watching. The armor was not powered. It had no servos, no hydraulic assists, no neural interfaces. It was simply metal, leather, and straps. Everything Marcus had just done, he had done through pure physical ability while carrying over 200 pounds of dead weight. "We do not hide technology in the armor," Marcus explained, rolling his shoulders now that the weight was gone. "We hide our training under it. Every human soldier spends years learning to fight in this equipment. We run in it, climb in it, swim in it. We push our bodies beyond what should be possible until the impossible becomes routine." He picked up his helmet and looked at it. "You see primitive armor. We see a training tool. When we finally face an enemy without this weight, when we wear modern equipment, or no armor at all, we move like you just witnessed. But faster. Much faster." Cross stepped forward, his mandibles clicking rapidly in what Marcus had learned was excitement. "You train with handicaps to make yourself stronger without them. Ingenious. More than that," Marcus continued, "this armor teaches us something your advanced technology cannot. To trust our bodies, our instincts, our training. You rely on sensors to tell you where enemies are. We learn to feel their presence. You depend on targeting computers. We trust our eyes and hands. Your equipment makes you better soldiers. Our equipment makes us better warriors." Vexana circled Marcus slowly, reassessing everything she thought she knew. "I have commanded fleets for decades, human. I have seen 1,000 species and their methods of war. But I have never seen anyone voluntarily handicap themselves for training. Because most species do not need to," Marcus replied. "You are stronger than us, faster than us, more durable than us. Humans survived on a death world where everything tried to kill us. We learned that we could not rely on natural advantages we did not have. So we built our advantages through stubbornness, creativity, and refusal to quit. This armor represents all of that." He began putting the armor back on, each piece sliding into place with practiced ease. "I will wear this on the mission, Commander. Not because I lack better equipment, but because wearing it reminds me what humans are capable when we refuse to accept limitations." The briefing resumed, but the atmosphere had changed. Vexana assigned Marcus to the primary boarding team, and no one questioned the decision. The other officers looked at the human with new respect, understanding now that what they had mistaken for primitiveness was actually sophistication they had failed to recognize. The mission to Tarsus Prime launched 6 hours later. Marcus Cole, wearing his scarred and dented armor, was first through the breach in the Dominion carrier. His team followed, watching as he moved through enemy soldiers with the same fluid efficiency he had demonstrated in the Yana simulation. When the civilians were evacuated and the mission declared a success, Vexana found Marcus in the hangar bay, removing his armor once again. She approached him with something that might have been humility. "I judged you unfairly, Marcus Cole," she said. "I saw only the surface and assumed I understood the depths. You have taught me a valuable lesson about making assumptions." Marcus smiled. "We all have things to learn from each other, Commander. That is why we fight together." As Vexana walked away, she glanced back at the pile of scarred metal that had seemed so primitive hours before. Now she saw it differently, not as a rel,